me. Let the music play. Okay.
Now back to more Joey Ebanks Show on Vibe 98.9 FM.
Welcome back here now. Welcome back to the Joey Ebanks Radio Show. As I said before the break, I have as my guest my friend Matthew Leslie. And Matthew's here. We're going to have a little bit of a debate today, he and I. We're going to talk about some of the issues. I want to give Matthew the opportunity to introduce himself. Once again, I know he's been on the circuit quite a bit. His website has been hit quite a lot.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of traffic on there. But he's a first time. I'm going to just hand it over to Matthew and let him give you a little introduction before we get to the topics.
Oh, well, thanks, Joey. That was really interesting just now listening to you. K-Man, I hope everyone's doing okay. It's The Drive at 598.9 FM. I'm so happy to be here. The campaign has been great. You know, I have. This is my first time, as you know, running, and I've really been impressed by the enthusiasm, especially from our young people. So many young people are getting involved. Just out here in the lobby here at Vibe, I was just talking to the young lady, Leisha, and it was really interesting hearing her views and everything. And it really gives you a lot of hope for the future to know that finally our young people are starting to get with the program, they're getting with the plan, and they're moving forward.
One of the things that happened to me when I first ran was I went in with all these ideals and then started to talk to people and realized I had to set mine aside and listen to theirs. Did that happen to you?
You know, that's one of the key things is that in the election, it's not about you, it's about the people.
Right.
You got to be able to sit down, you got to be able to talk, and you got to be able to make sure that you come with a game plan that they can relate to. The election's been going great. As you know, social media has been the forefront of this election. It started on social media with me on Facebook, and it's moved forward, with the help of social media. Our website, the Matthew2013.ky, being the one of the most hit websites, if not the most hit website. We're hitting into 6 digits with views and everything. Emails by the thousands. And the support's there. We have the polls up. Everything's going well. I'm really excited about the election. It's finally time for change. I think change is coming. And I think that this election is an election that the independents will play a bigger role in. And as I said to the stations and whatnot in the past, it's not about who I'm running with; it's who I'm running for.
That's right.
You're running for the people.
That's right.
And the people's who matters. And we have just too many problems in this island that needs to be fixed. We can't wait another 4 years.
Yeah.
And between fixing the problems, finding the solutions, it can be done. Let me tell you something. There's 57 candidates out there, and out of that 57, there are 18 that can be picked, that can go to that house, can work together as a team, and can make it happen. And one of the things that I hope is that I'm one of those 18. So, I tell the Georgetown voters, election day is coming up. It's only 49 days away.
Yes.
It's coming quicker than you thought. And I am telling people, something, save a vote for me. There's six choices you get for Georgetown. Save a vote for me. And then at the same time, pick 5 other people I can work with. Doesn't matter what party they're from, whether they're UDP, PPM. It doesn't matter if they're independent or not. Doesn't matter whether they're tall, short, black, white, skinny, fat.
So you're not basically identifying for the voters
shallow.
who you think they should vote for. You're just
no. I think it's between them and God.
Okay.
And you got to vote with your heart because everyone's going to have the person that they like.
So your position right now then is that it doesn't matter because you intend to negotiate. You intend to use your vote that the people have given you, your seat, if elected, to negotiate on their behalf.
Just how their vote is important to bring the outcome of this election, my vote is just important in the House.
That's
and the whole thing is to make sure that the other candidates know, listen, when you get inside there, it doesn't matter what your affiliation is, we got to come together. My vote's going to count because my vote is for Georgetown.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm going to make decisions that will benefit the Georgetown voters, benefit the island, and at the end of the day, we move the country forward.
If I could get you, because I want, after you're done, to allow Arnold Barrett to also introduce himself and why he's running and so on, but to get you to just let the people know why you're running and also just mention your next public meeting or your public meeting when they can come out to it.
Yes, well, why I'm running is pretty simple, because I'm Caymanian. I'm running because I'm Caymanian. I'm looking out for the Caymanians. At the end of the day, we have to stop and think to ourselves, where are we going? Why are we going this direction? Well, where we're going forward. We can't go back in time. What direction we're going? Well, it's either for the good or for the bad. We're coming at that crossroads. We're here in Cayman. We have to say, you know what? We're either going to take it to the next level and make something of this country. We're going to either bring back the middle class, fix the problem, or we're going to say, you know what, let's leave things the way they are and let's just watch this country go down. And unfortunately, a lot of us don't have those passports to jump ship to run to another country. My next meeting, well, tomorrow I'll be doing the bus tour.
Okay.
So tomorrow I'm going to be doing the bus tour all over Cayman. So starting from one side of the island, I'll be hitching with my thumb, catching on the public bus, catching a ride. There will be a film crew coming with me.
That's cool.
Yeah, Tommy Sullivan from CI10 will be following me. We're going to be going up and down. Hopefully, if you're catching the bus, I might be in the bus sitting next to you, but we're going to have a very candid conversation.
Excellent.
And we're going to talk what matters to the people. Of course, we're aiming for next week after the debate starting up on April 8th. Then we'll be going. We're aiming for our first public meeting April 10th.
Okay.
But more information will come out on that.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much, Matthew. Arnold, Mr. Berry, thank you for joining us this evening, of course, as well. And I want to give you a chance to introduce yourself. There's a lot of people who know you, but I wanted you to talk about why you're in the race and the first time, how your campaign is going, and what you hope to achieve, just as Matthew did, okay?
Yeah. Joey, let me thank you and the radio audience for giving me this opportunity to come here and enlighten them about my position, why I decided to run as a candidate in this election. It has been, as you know, Joey, we've been around this now quite a few years talking about representing our people to the best of our ability. And I declared in 2000, it was 10 candidates, placed 7th, 14.4% of the votes cast that time I achieved. And I sat up in the 2005 and the 2009 election for, personal reasons. And as time grew, I see the need for me to get back in the political fray of things, because I've never heard and seen more disgruntled people in my entire life in this country. I mean, even the tourists don't like what they see.
That's right.
People who've been here before, they say to you, what is happening to your country? You guys need to get out there and take your country back, because your country is not going in the right direction. That, along with the residents of this country, inspired me highly to get involved, because they know, as well as I know, I have the ability to take this country to another level and do a good job at it. My whole focus here would be to represent the people of the Bordentown district, and by extension the Cayman Islands, which includes Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Correct.
And I would work tirelessly on their behalf, because I see such an honor as something that you just can't imagine such an honor you would get by representing your people. And I would go all out to do such a thing, because I think it would enhance the Caymanian people way of life. And one of the first thing, because I am highly bidden to be elected, I would want to see some great changes done to the district of Bordentown. One of my first order of the day would be...
Is it fair to say, Arnold, that there's nothing has occurred in Bordentown the last 4 years, maybe the last 8? I live in Bordentown, so I get to vote for you.
Right.
Have you seen anything significant? The one thing that I've seen in Bordentown that is the spark that I find so much pleasure in watching is what Albert does with those kids with that youth football program. It's
right.
Phenomenal.
That's very
what
good.
He's done. I mean, he's awesome with
it. That's good. Joey, again, you live there. I live there. 50 years. Not much change. I think that the district need to have a different focus. My focus would be to have all of the people involved.
Yes.
I would want them to first come,
right,
say, Arnold, this is what I think that you need to do to try and make our lives better. Yeah. I would make sure that the district council is established post haste, because it is part of the Constitution, and it should have been implemented in this last administration. Yeah. There's only one of the elected, two districts has it function, and that's Northside and West Bay.
Right.
Bordentown, when it was asked about, it was like, it'll come at a later date. Yeah. And I look after that as saying to your people, well, they can come later. And I don't believe in that, because Erebor has a say, and we should try to give them that feeling that they're important and they need to be involved.
And we have to be able to establish those communication channels, because not everyone can come and attend a meeting either.
That's
we have
correct.
single moms who have a lot of stress and very little time.
That's correct.
But we have to be able to identify those channels of communication that allows them to participate.
That is correct.
Now, I think one of the key things before we go to the next break is that I want to make is that we are 3 independent candidates. We're not affiliated within the party,
Right.
and we're not connected either
Right.
to each other.
Correct.
We know each other. We have
Right.
respect for one another.
That's
We
correct.
certainly can work together.
That's correct.
But we're independent candidates, and
Correct.
we're running in 3 different districts as well.
That's correct.
You in Bordentown, Matthew in Georgetown, and me in North Side. And one of the things that I found that you mentioned, you both mentioned talking about working for the district and then the island, and that's key, because it's important to note that if elected by a district, is those people first, and then you work your way out.
That's correct.
You must raise them up with you and leave and go and help others with having work for them and satisfy some of their needs that they have. But you can't leave that district, go out there and fight for everything else that you deem to be of utmost importance, and leave your people to perish.
No.
You can't do that. And I am of the opinion that both Arden and Ezard has done that for 4 years. They have not put in enough in their districts. And when we get into the economic discussion a little later on, we talk about jobs and unemployment. Guess what? You need projects if that's going to happen. Because we're going to talk a little bit about where that unemployment group is, what sector that an unemployment group is in. And we're going to talk about what areas of development we're going to need in order for us to get them back to work. And we're going to define what retooling really means. I mean, people think that it's a volunteerism thing. It's not. This is a controlled government policy to retool sectors and change industries. And that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
And there's, one of the reasons why I got this show was purposely done, because there are other shows and there's a massive cost, and the independent candidates who don't have a whole pile of cash are finding it hard to get a say on these shows. Okay? And look, I can say this publicly. Randa Marin is an executive member of the C4C. He's on their website as a founding and executive member. And I can't see him being unbiased towards anybody else coming on the show and crosstalk and not raising the price. So I wanted a show. I got a friend to pay for it for me. It's my show. The rules are clear. And I wanted to give independent candidates a chance to be heard so that they can also solicit the vote of the public. And more importantly, the public gets choice. So we're going to go to another break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about those topics and having a little debate and drilling down into some of this important matters. And then in the last 15, because folks, you'll notice that we're breaking every 15 minutes, we're going to get into telephone calls and how the people call in and take calls from them. Yeah. So,
right.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't go away. Don't be touching that dial now. Don't let Taylorism fool you. Don't be afraid. You just leave it there on 98.9, and we'll be right back.
Nothing is off the table. It's the Joey Ebanks Show on Vibe FM.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for hanging around and hanging out with us this evening. We're going to get into some of the topics now. And what I did earlier with all of the persons that are coming on, all of my guests, is I provided topics, and then I said, hey, you guys can add one. So one of the topics that Matthew added to the discussion was employment versus immigration revenue. Mm-hmm. And I know this time is going fast when you're having fun, isn't it? So, Matthew, why don't you introduce us to this topic, and then we'll start with yours to make sure we get yours discussed, and then we'll roll into mine, okay?
Well, the one thing that I've been very adamant in is employment.
Absolutely.
As a young businessman who's been in business for the last 7+ years, I've seen just hundreds of Caymanians, young and old, coming to me for jobs. And I've tried to accommodate as much as I can. But you know something? We have a serious problem here in Cayman. And I need people that are listening right now to understand this much. You cannot have 2,000 plus unemployed Caymanians with 21,000 plus work permits. Something is seriously wrong with the situation. All right? Now, of course, we're talking about the fact that what's government going to do? In the minds of government leaders, they're saying to themselves, well, you know what, are we going to sacrifice these work permits to push forward for our agenda to get Caymanians involved in the workforce, to get them employed? Well, you know something? You got to do the math on here. And a lot of people don't realize something. And as me and you were discussing before the show started, one of the things that you got to realize is this. Now, follow with me, people. All right? 2,000 people on work permits, all right, that would be considered semi-skilled, non-skilled, okay? Now, keep in mind, the majority of that 2,000 would fall in that category, okay? Now, here's the thing. Work permits for that average about, what, $550 a year. Then you add on to $70 a year for the administrative fee. Let's say a business is really rushing to get them. They add on an extra $200.
Right.
All right, so you're looking at $820 right there. Well, you do the math. $820 times 2,000 work permit holders for the year, $1.64 million, okay? So government saying, you know what, we need this $1.64 million. Now, let's flip the script, all right? We got 2,000 people unemployed. Most of these people, if not all, are going to social services because they need assistance,
right,
whether it's housing, food, or whatever. So let's just tackle one part of the assistance, housing. Now, for those that are out there that are listening, that may be getting housing assistance, you know you get up to $800 a month from social services, okay? So let's just tackle $800 a month, 2,000 people. Now, here's the thing. Let's put those 2,000 people to work. We don't have to be giving $800 a month to 2,000 people. Let's do the math on that. Calculate it. 2,000 times 800 times 12 months in a year. 19.2 million.
Right.
All right? So you're telling me, this government, that you're going to cry about 1.64 million from immigration fees when you got 19.2 million dollars in social services that's going out? I don't know which one's the genius here, but something's telling me something is majorly wrong. Well, here's the thing. Take out those work permit holders, all right? Let's get these Caymanians into jobs. And guess what? Government just saved 19.2 million.
But did they? But did they? Because remember now, we have built an economy on a population number that includes those work permit holders.
Exactly.
So when we say things like swapping people out, because you know elected members have said this before, they're going to take work permit holders of the seats and put Caymanians in.
We're not trying to swap people out. Keep in mind, there is more than enough jobs available in this island because we're always importing. Take a look in the Compass today. Take a look in the newspaper, how many jobs are opening up. Take a look at how many positions are being advertised, okay?
Now, do we have the skilled unemployed people to fill those? Because
we have many.
And then what we need to do is insist that when these work permits go before the board, that the labor office representative there refuses them because they have the power to do it.
Well, what they need to do, to be honest with you, is they need to put someone from the National Workforce Development Agency on the work permit board so they can liaison.
You know what would be a good idea, Matthew? Would be if for the next hearing, they let the three of us come in and hear who they were offering work permits to and how many people have applied.
Let me tell you,
you want to jump in? So,
yeah, Joey, let me jump in.
I know you got to jump in because we're going to fight a little bit. Okay?
What I would recommend that there is some pairing going on. For instance, there's a Caymanian available listed at the Labour Department and there's a job advertised.
That's right.
There should be an analysis happening in the Labour Department and saying, okay, there is a Caymanian available for this job. This won't be filled by a foreigner.
That's right.
But
because
the problem is...
we have to take this bull by the horn.
No, we have to.
Stop playing with it.
I think we're saying the same thing, right?
No, but
basically we're saying the same thing, but we need...
But what's happening is there's no follow-up. This is the thing that's worrying me, okay? And this is the thing. Too many young people. Right now, there's a nice lady, Carla and all, and that sent me resumes today.
Yes.
All right? She sent me for her and her husband. They have not been in work for 6 months, okay?
Yes.
You got other people there, Michelle, all these other people that are emailing me.
Yes.
And guess what? They've been through the DER, National Workforce.
Yes.
They've applied. They've gone to the interviews, but there's been no follow-ups to make sure these people get the jobs.
And that's what I want to get out into this discussion. Right. That's why I asked the questions I asked.
And
because here's what we're really saying here, you know. The actual root problem we have in this country with unemployed Caymanians is that their government is obstructing them from getting a job in their own country.
Once again, once we go out, and this is what I'm saying, we are sacrificing our unemployed for government revenue from immigration. Well, here's the thing. You save 19.2 million because we got these people into work. Guess what? You can start saying to yourself, all right, we saved 19.2 million. To heck with the 1.64 million. Let's put 10 million out of that 19 into the kitty. There's surplus. Let's take the 9.2 million. Let's work on some of these projects. You know what? Let's start getting the solar powered panels for people's homes. You know, let's start getting the trade school built. Let's start doing stuff.
Arnold, you need to cut in, right? Because this is crossed off. We're not going to be polite.
What needs to happen here too is a national database has to be set
Absolutely.
up. Anybody,
and the authority. Labour authority.
Labour authority. Then anybody at any point in time can log on to it and say, okay, I need somebody to work for me. It's a big lacking, and a lot of people are getting frustrated by the whole process.
We need some lions in that labor department.
Frustrated? Have you seen the rise in crime?
Absolutely.
And you know something? When you have to worry about rise in crime, and you see that one of the items that's missing in your house is food, that tells you a problem. You tell me which burglar is going to go and just steal food and groceries if he's not able to feed his family. That's the problem. Yeah. We got to be able to make sure that we feed.
You know what I'm tired of hearing? I'm tired of hearing people say, "Oh, well, I grew up poor and I didn't steal, so I don't see any reason for him to do it." Listen,
let me tell you something.
Days are over.
The people that grew up poor thought they were.
The neighbors help feed you.
And not only that, but let me tell you something. People back in the day that thought they were poor, it was like my great grandmother who said she never had a dime. But let me tell you something. When bills came to be paid, let me tell you, she had that water money coming out. And let me tell you something. I never seen a woman that could tell me so much that she had credit at A.L. Thompson's to buy every single thing in the book. Let me tell you something. Back in the day, Cayman has what's known as a middle class. They had a middle class. I grew up in the middle class. You grew up in the middle class.
Yes.
We may not have to have been rich. We may not have to have been one of the merchant pioneers in this island like the Thompsons. I wasn't born a Thompson. I wasn't born a Hurlston. I wasn't born a Foster.
Yes.
I was born Matthew Leslie from Eastern Avenue.
Yep.
But you know what? I lived a happy, great life. And right now, people that are growing up on Eastern Avenue do not have the life I had because guess what? The middle class is gone.
Yes.
That's why people like me, people like Arnold, yourself, we need to run with one thing in focus, bring in the middle class.
Bringing it back.
I'm not in this election to worry about the rich man that's going to get in, I'm not in this election to worry about the rich man that's here in Cayman because guess what? When this country goes to heck, guess what? He can fly out and move. It's our people that's not going to be able to survive. So we either bring back the middle class or we worry about this country becoming a real third world country.
Yeah, and I mean, we talk about, because just your topic leads right into the economy, right? And we have projects that have been proposed. Now, everyone knows that the UK, England, now controls our budget. So the government has no funds. And the government has no funds because in the last administration, there was a lot of spending. And at the same time, we got hit with a global recession. So our revenues fell in the government, and therefore we ended up running in the red. So now England has taken control of the budget, and we can no longer even propose anything. We literally, finance committee is a joke now because it's all being decided in England. There's no finance committee, no one running finance and proposing anything. We're going to get a budget and say, you stick within this, have a good day, boys, and off we go. But projects from the private sector, once elected, we have to facilitate. We have to create opportunities when the wealth in this country are external to it. Bring ideas to us and say, hey, I want to do this. And we have to start setting policy, making sure it's well communicated to everyone, and making sure that we work together to get the idea out there, making sure we got buy-in, that environment issues are met, that the labor issues are met, and that these people get a chance to invest and to get their money back. How do you guys feel about that?
Well, Joey, how I look after it, investment inwards, the Caymanians need to be sitting by the table, all sectors of the Cayman Islands, because we need to benefit more than what has happened in the past. I mean, I've seen many projects, big and small, come online. All you hear the Caymanians saying to themselves, well, Tom has that job, Dick has that job. We have not even gotten a chance to even bid on the first line of the plans. So I think that all stakeholders need to be sitting at that table, and we should be dealt with first.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, in the Bahamas, I am told that major projects, a percentage of that is dealt with by the residents of that country.
I mean, what's wrong with that idea? Huh?
It's not a great idea.
There's nothing wrong, but in fact, let's take a step further.
Matthew, excuse me, that would take care of some of the unemployment that we're now facing, because that, to me, that sector of this country right now is in major. It's
more than just that. I'll give you an example. An architect walked into me the other day, and he says, something, Mr. Leslie, why isn't it all architectural work can't be done on island? Why is it that these big companies that are already getting concessions, and that's a whole other conversation that we need to talk about, they're sending off for the artwork, for the architectural work. So not only is the architectural work being done overseas, the print's being done overseas and sent back over. You know something? We're losing out here in Cayman. Trust me, Cayman has enough talent. We did not get to where we are by being stupid people.
Right.
All right?
That's correct.
We were here because, guess what? We had the brains, the intelligence, the know-how, and the ambition to build it.
And the relationships, right? We had the relationships that allowed us to do this.
And it's not gone yet.
What are our architects is doing prints and drawings and producing work for people overseas?
Exactly.
And we're selling and exporting that.
Exactly.
Governments need to create policies and opportunities for that. let's stop looking at one directional investment where we're trying to bring all the investors in. Why not talk, when we travel, speak to firms and say, hey man, can our doctors look at some of your x-rays and give you a response? Can our architects do some drawings for you here? Here's the kind of price range. Can they zip those out by electronic means for you?
Cayman can source out any day because we have the talent.
A lot of
we
stuff
have the
can be
talent.
done.
And let me tell you something. We have a lot of young talent that's
Yes.
going off. And here's the problem. Too much of our young talent is going off, getting educated, and they're coming back to Cayman to
Without
find that
hope.
there's- without no hope because there's no jobs. Well, guess what? Let's get the jobs. Businesses, if you're listening today, it's simple. Caymanians are willing to work. Kill the stereotype. Bring the
Yes.
Caymanians in. Offer better wages.
I got a better idea, Matthew.
And guess what? You can
I
get
got
yourself
better
a great
idea.
employer.
Give
Forget
them
the
a
local
clear
businesses.
chance.
Here's the thing, right? Young people, you need to stand up. Do not be afraid. You need to get behind candidates that are speaking this language, that are standing and taking a stand for you. And you need to wake up, and you need to speak up, and you need to act, and you need to get your parents to vote with you and say you had enough, and you want some change, and you want people who are going to come in and come committed that in order to secure some hope and some opportunities for you in the future. I mean, gentlemen,
hope is
let me
there.
just switch one minute real quickly. Why don't we divest of some of these government-owned businesses that are failing to young blocks of young people and let them take them over and start running them, or even give them to the directors and the staff there and say, okay, we're going to take this off the table, divest of it. You get first option, you, the director and staff. You can take it over and own it. Or young blocks of Caymanians, you can take it over and run with it and develop it. Immediately it hits the bottom line, the expense line on the balance sheet for the government. And those expenses that will be used to subsidize it goes away.
Goes away, yeah.
Then you get a more refined and efficient run operation, which brings the cost down. So, quick comment on that before we go to the break, because when we come back, we're going to take some calls. So just quick 30-second comment, Matthew.
Quick comment. The businesses already belong to the people.
Yes.
These are the people's business. Government is for the people. These companies are owned by the people. People need to realize that. So you know something? If government can say, people of the Cayman Islands, help us fix this business, I think government should allow it. You don't have to go
That's
overseas
right.
to find a genius.
That's
Geniuses are right here in Cayman. There's enough young people that can get out and do it.
Also, Joey, I think that we need to have some amalgamation of some businesses.
Yes.
Because
Government wants that is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the government ones. What I'm seeing is that there's a lot of duplication. Like, for instance, I think that the DCI and the Cayman Islands Development Bank should become one.
Absolutely.
Because I don't see why one should be on one side of the building and then one on the other side. You know, just to say. They need to come together because one is giving advice, but after the advice is given, where's the finance coming from? It falls apart. The businesses more than likely will fall apart.
And they've duplicated the resources internally to where they're having to staff up, double the staff up, when they can bring them together and help more small businesses with soft loans and that sort of stuff. So when we come back, folks, we're going to be taking your call. Don't forget the number is 946-9898. That's 946-9898. And you can text me or go on Facebook. You know, I love Facebook, guys. So send us a message on Facebook, and we'll happily deal with your topic. Because we want to talk a little bit about the firemen situation, too. Because I've been fighting for the firemen for a little while now, and I'm going to continue this fight. Matthew's jumped in, and he's fighting for the firemen. And we just let Arnold in on how we're fighting. So I'm sure he's going to jump in. So when we come back, folks, get your phones ready. Make sure they're charged up. We want to talk to you, and we want to discuss a few of the topics. We'll be right back. Hesitate to call us. Do we have a call on the line? Nothing yet. So give us a call, 946-9898. Matthew, you did get some messages. One was the minimum wage, right? They wanted us to...
Someone was asking, what's your thoughts on the minimum wage? So just to answer that question, minimum wage, I support it. I do believe that we can implement it in stages because we don't have to strike businesses one shot, because businesses will retaliate to the consumer by passing the costs on. But I do believe that it's time that we wake up from this $3 for... Folks, we're in the Cayman Islands. Who that? Anyways, $3 an hour isn't working for me.
All right. Okay, so we go to the phone lines. We have a call on the line. Hello? Hello, caller? Hello?
Hello, caller?
First, I congratulate you for this program.
Oh, thank you.
And hi to both your guests.
Okay, thank you for your call, too.
And I just want to say it is very good that we have new programs, talk show programs, because unfortunately we have a media which some of the media are biased, and they are controlled by some people who motivated by their boss or their political views only. They want their own political views to be heard other than what they want us to say. If we call the talk show, like for Rooster, or if we put a comment in Cayman News Service, we can't put out these comments or say what we want to say, because the reason is this media is biased by other people.
Okay, sir, do you have a comment for the guests? Any question on the election, the issues?
Yes. The other thing, what is the issue of employment is very important to the people of this country. And it's been all these boards doing what they're trying to do. All they passing the permits for the foreigners, and they're allowing more people to come in this island.
Dude, this is Joey Ebanks. Get to the point, ask a question, we're moving on. Ask a question. Ask Matthew a question, ask Arnold a question, ask me a question, attack us, do something. This is not Sunday worship center. No one's going to preach. Ask a question, do it.
Yes. My question is, what is your vision and views, Mr. Joey, yourself, to do a change in Northside? Because the people of Northside is not being served. The past 4 years was a waste of time. That MLA sitting there accusing everybody, everything.
I love you, dude. So here's my answer.
Attacking everybody, everything.
All right. So here's my answer, sir. You can hang up and I'll give you my answer. So
yes.
really, I ran the last election with a plan, and that plan included tourism for Northside. It included senior citizens, youth, after-school programs. I believed in that plan then, and I still believe in that plan now. So I'm coming back with that plan. My meeting on Saturday the 6th at 6 p.m. at Oman Bay Football Field is going to be about as one of my committee members said to me, the cloud that is hanging over you, we must address first. I intend to do that on Saturday night. I'm inviting the entire country to come. And you need to bring your own chair too, by the way, folks. Travel one of those fold-up chairs, because I'm not even providing chairs. There'll be not even that I'm going to provide. There won't be any food, and there won't be any drinks, there won't be any entertainment. I'm going to stand there and I'm going to deliver my speech about the issues of corruption as I see them. I'm going to produce evidence, and then from there on, my campaign meetings from there on, they're going to be about Northside and the Northside people. I'm going to do this once and move forward. Naturally, I expect to be attacked from time to time, but I think I've made it perfectly clear that this time around, Joey Ebanks is not afraid of fighting back. And anyone in this game who punches me, I'm going to hit you 10 times before I stop. So for the Northside people, the change I want to see is the youth running my campaign and dictating to me what they want to see in the future. I want to make sure that they have employment. I want to make sure there are opportunities in tourism. I want to make sure that there's a senior citizens home there for the old people, that we can have at least 5 residents in that home. And I want to make sure that we have ongoing development, new road infrastructure, and be able to open up some of the interior land and give opportunities. Do we have another call on the line? So to that caller, I just want to say that, and folks, those folks calling in, let me just say, just ask the question. Just relax. Don't be afraid of anything. If you start to preach, I'm going to stop you, and we're going to move on. We want to let as many people that calling as we can, because I want my guests to be asked some questions too. Okay. So thank you very much. Do we have another caller? No. They left the number. Oh, give the number. Okay, 946-9898. The number is 946-9898. And don't hesitate to send us questions on Facebook as well. Both Matthew and I are here with iPads, and we're plugged into the Facebook. So you can ask either one of us. We have a call on the line. Let's just go to the phone lines. Hello, caller. Are you there?
Yes. Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, thank you so very much for your call.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I don't have a question, but I just wanted to say congratulations to Mr. Berry for taking the step forward. And I look forward to hearing many positive things from him. I know him personally, and I know he will do the people of Bordentown great justice. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the confidence placed in me.
Awesome, yeah. Thank you very much for that call, madam.
All right. One thing, Joey, just to bring it up, because I am getting a couple emails and texts, is people said, don't forget the firemen.
The firemen.
You want us to get back on to the labor?
No, I'd like to talk about the firemen because one of the things that has happened in this country is that these firemen have been left out in the dark all by themselves. I mean, literally, it seems to me the country has abandoned it. And we began this fight a couple of weeks ago, I versus them, versus others for the firemen. We have firemen in this country who have been employed for 20, 25 years, 30 years, who are not yet making $3,000.
Yeah.
Right? Not only that, they're not only are they grossly underpaid, but they also have no access to training now and no upward mobility. But we'll get back to that because we have another call on the phone and I don't want to keep people waiting. So let's go to the phone line. Hi, caller, are you there?
Yes.
Hi, thank you. Good evening. Thank you for your call.
Hey, I just want to say something regarding everyone's talking about the youth doing this, providing jobs for youth and everything. I help out in the school for the last 2 years, and I'm not talking private school, government primary school. And honestly, you guys need to start with the parents. They get so much pressure on these kids, and when they go home, the people who are helping, the teachers who are helping, it just all goes out the door when they get home. And if they don't have a proper foundation, providing these jobs and all, it's not going to work.
Okay, so, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. So, ideally what we need is after-school programs to ensure that structure is also there, right?
Yeah, the after-school program works because I am in with the after-school program right now. And, I've gotten feedback from the teachers that I teach a lot of discipline and confidence and stuff in what I do at these schools. But, some of these kids, when I look at them, they're smart and they have potential in them. So when they go home, they don't, everything that it's like they go home and books get thrown down and that's it.
Yeah.
They don't pick up anything. They don't enhance on what because there's no parents there to guide them.
So one of the things we had a couple of years ago, madam, and I'm going to let both my guests jump in behind this, is we had this parenting program that I thought was, without a doubt, the greatest thing to happen to this country in the last 50 years. Because what it was we were able to get together with parents and share ideas. No one has the answer to perfect parenting, right? Some just get lucky more than others, and we get to share those ideas and help people to develop their kids. Gentlemen, you want to speak to that?
My answer to that would be that if you're having problems with your child learning what they're teaching in school, you should get back to either the PTA or get back to the teacher. The
parents should, because this is a teacher now calling in to us to say that this is part of the problem.
Right, because what is actually happening, the curriculum that is now being followed in the schools is more advanced than some of the parents.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And the parents, when the child, which the teacher is quite right, when the child gets home and say, well, mommy, this is my homework I got today, and the parent can't relate. Yeah. So basically what you need to do is go back to the teacher or the PTA and say, I can't cope. I need help myself. And I'm quite safe to say that they would extend themselves to bring you up to speed.
But not only that, but I also have to add to this. This situation is also part of the domino effect that we're finding with the fact that there's so many single-parent homes here.
Definitely.
The parents are working, and I mean, let me tell you something. The greatest respect to single moms out there that are playing father, mother, the same thing, that are working 2-3 jobs to make ends meet. They're not getting the time that's needed to come home and spend with the kids. Let me tell you something. No parent out there wants to see their child fail.
No.
None.
But you know
Neither
something?
one.
Unless they're given the freedom to be able to get the time to spend with their kids or whatnot. And let me tell you something. Once again, once we start to fix the economy, we can loosen up the budgets of these parents. They're not working 2-3 jobs. They're able to spend time with the kids. We put back in place a proper parenting program, parent-student program, and guess what? We can start moving this island forward. Because remember, everything's a domino effect here.
That's right. Everything's connected.
Everything's connected. When we fix one problem, we can fix everything. Trust me.
Now, one of the things that I want to throw out there for PTAs and primary schools is this. Here's my challenge to you. Once a quarter, bring your parents in there to your teachers and you teach them the curriculum and you direct them to where they can get additional assistance on helping their kids with what you're going to teach for the upcoming quarter. Arm them, give them information and direction to help the tools to get it done. We're going to take one last call before we go to the break again. Hi, caller, you there?
Hello.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening. Thank you so much for your call.
Yes, I would like to ask about two things. I would like to ask about the police system and also about people not able to get jobs from the employment services.
Okay.
Like some investigation needs to happen with that, because so much people have been out of job for long, and then they send people to jobs and they're not the correct job.
Okay.
Now,
sorry, before you
as
go,
an employer?
Before you go to the police, madam, could you elaborate a little bit more on the police one for me?
Okay, I have a friend. She was on scholarship, and she
Hello? Oh, we lost the caller.
All right.
They're still there.
Oh, hello?
Oh, she's gone.
Oh, okay.
I
Quickly
think
on the police thing.
I think I can answer a question, because something similar was brought up to my attention, and I hope I'm getting the thing right. There was a young lady that approached me that had received a scholarship for school. Okay.
Right.
But what happened is she had an ongoing case where she was accused of theft.
Right.
Okay. The police intervened, took her passport. She can't go off. She can't do anything. She lost her scholarship. Only about a week or two after, for the police to give her back her stuff and say, okay, the investigation is done.
And
there's no evidence against you.
Right.
You're in the clear.
Another arrest on suspicion and drag through the mud.
Her, right now I'm trying to help get her a meeting with the Premier's office, which meets, because I think she was a recipient of the Nation Building Fund scholarship.
Okay.
And it's really funny, but I don't know if you've been checking your Facebook, but someone just messaged you on Facebook asking about the same question: do you support the Nation Building Fund and the people that it helped?
Oh, I love it. I love the Nation Building Fund. I love the Nation Building Fund. You know why? Because it gives the poorest of the poor access to education, access to business opportunities, and that's what we have to fix, because this has to be shifted in such a way that poor people can access things quickly. Small business owners can access cheap capital quickly. And you know what? I can tell you that there are elected members whose brothers' children got scholarships from the Nation Building Fund. And the same people are complaining and saying it's a bad thing. It's nothing but a bad thing. So
I know a lot of young people that Nation Building Fund has helped. A lot of people that would have not met the bar for the higher scholarships that are offered. Yeah. And so let me tell you something. As long as there's transparency and it's ran properly, I believe that a fund should be in place to help our young Caymanians. Okay. We need to be able to help.
Joey, can I put another twist to it?
Here's what I want you to do, Arnold, for me. You can go ahead and put another twist to it, and just close with your in remarks, and then Matthew, you, and then we'll go to a commercial break and let the other guests on. We're into their time now.
Yeah. What about if we take that same fund and run it through the CIDB, which has a proper structure in place? Because one of the things that was actually happening is that the people were saying the perception of corruption was in place.
That's right.
So you would take that away from it, go through that process. Then nobody could point their finger and say,
that's right.
Is something suspicious with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think that is one of the fears that most people in Cayman has today.
The thing is, though, Arnold, and I have no problem with that, removing it from a political person.
Right.
And we can even call it something else other than nation building. We could call it the fund for the very poorest of the poor, opportunities for poorest of the poor, whatever we want to call it, because that's who we're targeting, right? Literally, this is a fund of money that we're going to vote and allocate for people who are high risk, but we want to give them a chance.
Right. And I agree with the concept. Yes. But probably the way it was disseminated, then that's what where people was having issues with. Absolutely. So to clear that up, I think it should go through that.
Absolutely.
Something of that format. And I think people would say
I fully
it makes
support
sense.
That. Yeah. I fully support that. You want to have some closing remark on that?
Well, I would like to say in closing that let me thank you and for the people who manage this business for giving me an opportunity to come here this afternoon and, impart some of my things that I would like to see achieved for the District of Bordentown. And as time moves on, I intend to make certain announcements in the media regarding to us getting moving ahead. And I intend to be elected as one of their representatives to represent the people of Borden Town. And if given that chance, I intend to do that with all of my strength that the Lord has given me to do so.
And just let me say, Arnold, I am a voter in Borden Town, and you have my vote.
Thank you, Joey.
Okay.
Thank you.
Matthew, closing remarks?
I just want to thank everyone that's been listening. As you can see, I've been on the iPad and the BBM. The messages are coming in like crazy. I just want to thank everyone that's listened in, except for Brian Barnes. He just texted me and he's listening in. I don't want him to listen. No, it's a joke, Brian. He's a West Bay voter. It's okay. I just think that,